Denmark surrenders to Germany in 6 hours. Sweden remains neutral. Meanwhile, then there's Norway. Literally goes into chaos mode. They were not going to go down easily. This is specifically referencing them blowing up this German cruiser. But I was recently looking into this small team of Norwegians that blew up this nuclear facilities to keep Germany from getting a bomb. This was actually known as Operation Gunner Side, and I feel like it's not talked about nearly enough. Hitler was stupid to invade Russia in the winter. My brother in Christ, Barbarossa began in June. This is a key detail I feel like a lot of people forget about. It didn't start in the winter, but it sure did end in the winter. In a way. You know what? If he actually started in late winter, like going into spring, somewhere around February, who knows what would have happened? Maybe you should have attacked in the winter. Filipinos having to fight the Spanish, the Americans, the Japanese, and rebel civilians in 3 separate wars in the span of less than 50 years. Filipinos and the Vietnamese have actually a lot more in common than I thought. Just replace the Spanish here with the French, and it's almost the exact same. Cultural appropriation gave us the French. What? The Franks were a Germanic people. When they settled in Gaul, the local Roman population outnumbered their occupiers, so they appropriated Latin from them. Jesse, what the hell are you talking about? No, don't stop him. Let him keep going down this rabbit hole. I'm kind of interested. Some random dude in the 9th century. Okay, let's just split the empire into France, Germany, and since we're feeling extra quirky today, create a territory in the middle to make them hate each other for the next 1,000 years and indirectly escalate both world wars. How could this possibly go wrong? I've never actually realized that the fall of Charlemagne in a way caused all this chaos. I mean, this dude had literally all this, and then of course it had to be split up at some point, and it all pretty much led to some really early forms of France, Germany, and kind of Italy as well. If only he had 2 sons instead of 3. Can't even imagine how different things would be. Native Americans before the 1600s. Then there's Native Americans after the 1600s. I gotta tell ya, these things are pretty terrific. And man oh man, did they end up loving horses. Certain Native Americans more than others. For example, Spaniards brings horses to the Americas. The Iroquois tribe, cool. The Cree, cool. Navajo, cool. Meanwhile, there's the Apache. I've referred to them as literally the Mongol Empire of America. If only they got their horses just a little sooner. If only they got their horses at the same time the Mongol Empire rose to power, they might have had just as great of an empire. It's hard to say, but these dudes did not mess around. It's the American Civil War in 1862 at Yazoo River. We have the North with the combined fleets of 2 admirals. Meanwhile, the South with the ram, Arkansas. This was the River War, and the Arkansas was an ironclad ram. Basically, there was a time in history where just ramming into other ships was an effective strategy again. Good times. America and Vietnam, 0.2 seconds after finishing the Vietnam War. Oh, we came together real fast. Sometimes you just need this mutual enemy. It's actually crazy how fast that can cheer 2 places up. I saw an Instagram reel that said something along the lines of, women have no idea how often men in their lives think about the Roman Empire. So I asked my husband, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And without a missing beat, he said, every day. Y'all, why? What is that question? Why not? Why would I not think about one of the greatest empires in history every day? What's wrong with you for not doing this? Pretty much all ladies are now figuring out this is something that goes on.
She asked her husband, and
so everyone's asking.
Yes. I asked my husband last night in jest, and do you know what this man said? He said, well, in some capacity, probably every day.
That's
Why?
a great way to put it. That's a fantastic way to put it. It's crazy to me that in some capacity, everyone doesn't think about, it's just so much influence. Even if you order like a Caesar salad. I mean, I don't even think our brains can comprehend how much of an impact is still there. Roman numerals, religion, astronomical observations. I don't even think you can go outside your house in certain parts of Europe without seeing something Roman. The saying, Cleopatra lived closer to the US than the building of the pyramids, is still not as epic as saying the building of the pyramids are closer to the US than the building of Jericho. I don't know why I only just recently realized just how old Jericho actually is. I mean, you're talking like 11,000 years ago. That's crazy. Rome being the largest city in the 9th cent Frankish Empire with 50,000 people. Oh yeah, time to party. Man, they're still celebrating. Keep it up. Meanwhile, it was still not even close to some of these other city populations. Probably should have said the 9th century here. That was really confusing. Thought we were talking about currency for a second. I'm actually more surprised Baghdad outnumbered this city. The medieval period was a pretty rough time for Europe. 50,000 people living on 6 acres. Mommy, my lungs hurt. Why does Does it smell of burnt rubber? I know, just a little more, and we are on the 3rd floor. Cut to the Kowloon walled city. I swear my fascination with this thing peaks like every 3 months. I always got to go down this rabbit hole. I have to admit, if it was still around to this day, I would absolutely go inside. To this day, there's still so many things inspired by it. An 84-year-old German man was convicted after keeping a WW2 tank in his basement. There's only one thing to say here. Most normal 84-year-old German man, I guess. What 84-year-old German man doesn't have one of these? Wait, why was he convicted, though? You're not allowed? I want a German tank in my basement. I think the problem here is that he was a certain type of German. This reaction. If he was just a normal dude keeping a tank in his basement, I think that's a different situation. Every masterpiece has its cheap knockoff. I'm like so flabbergasted by this. I have never seen a meme like this in my life. And I've been doing this for like 10 years. Holy Roman Empire dubs? I mean, it's about time. It's a long time coming. Bavarians are the missing link between Austrians and humans, says this German guy. I like pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down to us. Pigs treat us like equals, says Winston Churchill. I cannot prevent the French from being French, says Charles de Gaulle, the former leader of France. Wait, so all of these leaders just bashing on their own countries? I'm just in shock. Here we go, France getting a medal. Once again, time to celebrate. Oh yeah, fun times. Let's go. Meanwhile, France actually ranking last, and this is specifically resistance movements in WW2. Ooh, France when someone mentions WW2 resistance. I don't know why this is just making me think my great-grandma would have absolutely disagreed with this. I don't know why she told me France, like, fought hard there. I don't know. I was like a little kid when she told me this. We're not even French. Actually, I think she was German. If Oppenheimer wouldn't have created the atomic bomb, Imperial Japanese would have launched the bubonic plague on the USA. Meanwhile, my weeb history teacher, I would actually be in shock if he didn't know this. Like, what history teacher doesn't know that Japan was looking to harness the bubonic plague? I thought that was like pretty common knowledge. Ooh, look at this cute outfit. Look at that Renaissance era armor. Tasteful flooding of it. Oh my god. She even has a Biden-hander. Oh yeah, these do make everything look a little bit more epic. Let's see Paul Allen's Renaissance era armor. Frankenstein's monster in media. Meanwhile, in the books, oh, Frankenstein, be not acquittable. Wow, I don't even know if I can say these words. And trample upon me alone, to whom thy justice and even thy clemency and affection is most due. The hell did I just even read? Frankenstein is more intelligent than I am. Sorry, Frankenstein's monster. That's the correct name for it. My day is ruined. He's probably thinking about other girls. There were once Greeks living in Afghanistan. Holy crap. That would keep me up at night too. I never realized that either. I mean, they were also kind of living in the outer edges of India as well. Alexander's empire was no joke. Me, as a kid, realizing that my blue-collar life in the 1990s is more comfortable than the life of medieval kings, but I can never be as happy as medieval kings because I can't pillage Scotland. This is one of those existential crises I think every kid has to go through. I know I certainly did. You'll never understand my pain, says the USA. Meanwhile, there's the nation of Chile. We both agree the 9th of September is a pretty depressing day, but definitely for some different reasons. What's crazy is they do not teach us about this in the United States. American women in 1920, we did it! We got the right to vote! Meanwhile, Wyoming grandmas who'd been doing it since the 1860s. Yeah, they definitely weren't that impressed. Wyoming was the first state by far to allow women to vote. Ooh, a hypothetical flag for if Czechia and Slovakia came together in a union. Whoa, would you look at that? What a great way to integrate both countries into one flag. Obviously, Czechia is represented here, but Slovakia as well. How cool. If only this place existed at some point in history. Bomber plane pilots. This bamboo stockpile has been here for ages. A Taj Mahal bamboo stockpile? Look at that. The Taj Mahal. Okay, I'll be honest, I don't even know what I read there. Basically, this is referring to India building fake Taj Mahals in defense of bomber enemy planes against the Japanese and also against Pakistan. Oh, the scaffolding made it look like there was just a bamboo stockpile. That way they keep this iconic building super safe. This guy saying, so you don't plan on doing anything about one of your phone operators sabotaging my business. Meanwhile, the Bell Telephone Company, that's right. Then here it goes inventing a way to automate telephone calls and make the entire phone operator industry go obsolete. Oh, well, that kind of backfired. I believe this is referring to apparently back back in the day, you'd have to ask a telephone operator to transfer your call to wherever it was trying to go. I mean, I'm old. I'm not this old though. Like I'd never experienced that. I don't think I've ever actually called a telephone operator before. Oh, in 1963, the last switchboard operator for a hand-cranked phone would occur. Norway will never give in to the no-no Germans. I would sooner go into exile than surrender and would abdicate rather than recognize Quisling as prime minister. Meanwhile, the other Nordic countries, well, I mean, Denmark got taken out in 6 hours, and Sweden was neutral. In Finland, maybe we just shouldn't go there. And big thanks to my patrons, Destiny Ducker 9000, Sebi, if you hear this, I love you. I am the aPhatNarwhal, Carmel S, InquisitorXarius, KirinoIsBestGirl, Luxembourg 5610, Robert E, RyeThePie, TheGreatRalphy, the Mexican Twickenhamster, ZaneyBoi, GoodOldRyah, and Jack Traven's annoying friend. And why am I doing this?